Welcome to this week's snippet. This is where we get down and dirty on a specific topic. And today's topic is twofold: the NAC attack and what do you do if NAC is indeed pulled from the marketplace and you no longer can get it. I'm Dr. Ben Lynch, and this is the Dirty Genes Podcast. The news is that the FDA is not too pleased that N-Acetyl Cysteine is being marketed as a dietary supplement, even though it has been marketed as a dietary supplement for the last 3 decades. Amazon has said, okay, we will no longer provide N-Acetyl Cysteine, and so that's it, done. Other supplement companies like Seeking Health and many others continue to provide N-Acetyl Cysteine for you. So currently at Seeking Health, we are out of stock. And we are out of stock because we sold many months worth of inventory in literally 2 days. So I want to say, first off, take a breather, okay? There's just talks about it. There is an organization out there that is working on all of our behalf, the Council for Responsible Nutrition. They are very, very active in working with the FDA, defining what N-Acetyl Cysteine is, or redefining it and saying, hey, this has been used in the marketplace for a long time. It's extremely safe and it should be used and continue to be available for everyone who wants it and needs it. And it should be not classified as a drug only. So they're working on your behalf. Now, what happens if indeed N-Acetyl Cysteine is in fact pulled from the marketplace completely? If we are informed that, all right, NAC is classified as a drug, you can no longer sell it, period, done, what do? I mean, you've used N-Acetyl Cysteine in your family for maybe 10 years. I've been using N-Acetyl Cysteine personally for over 20 years. I love this stuff. And I finally learned how to use it effectively. I know when to not use it. And what do? So for N-Acetyl Cysteine, you need to understand what it does. Anytime you are wondering, okay, if NAC is gone, oh my, what should I get? Stop for a moment and think, what does N-Acetyl Cysteine do? Okay, N-Acetyl Cysteine provides cysteine, acetylated cysteine. Acetylated cysteine is different than just normal cysteine, because if you just consume normal cysteine, it's not going to do the same thing. So you can actually find cysteine as a supplement out on the marketplace. It's pretty rare though, because everybody prefers the acetylated form, and that N-acetyl group attached to cysteine allows the absorption of cysteine, and it also protects it from stomach acid. So there's also N-acetyl glutathione. And N-acetyl glutathione protects the glutathione and helps support its absorption as well. So if you see N-acetyl in front of some types of compounds, then you should know, okay, whatever that is, it's supporting its absorption. So the other thing is you need to understand that N-Acetyl Cysteine, its job is to produce sufficient amounts of cysteine in your body. And what does cysteine do? Cysteine is the number one amino acid for the production of your glutathione. If you do not have sufficient cysteine in your body, then your ability to make your body's number one antioxidant, glutathione, it will not happen, period. And there is lots and lots of research out there that shows that the effectiveness of supplementing with just N-Acetyl Cysteine to help increase your glutathione levels, and N-Acetyl Cysteine by itself can do that for a lot of people. Now, can it do it for all people? Absolutely not, because actually making glutathione is not just N-Acetyl Cysteine. It is a primary ingredient, yes, but it is not, I repeat, N-Acetyl Cysteine or cysteine is not the only ingredient needed to make glutathione. The other thing that you probably know what N-Acetyl Cysteine is useful for is your lungs. N-Acetyl Cysteine is beautiful for lung health. Now, are there any alternatives to N-Acetyl Cysteine being such an effective mucolytic? In short, I don't know. We tend to get coughs during the drier spells, especially if you have forced air heat in your home. I've bought every family member in our home. I went to Amazon and I got these humidifiers. They're small, they're about yay big, and you can actually program the humidity that you want to be in your room. Whereas if you just get the big old Vicks humidifier, you know, it's just round, it's the old school thing. You just fill up with water, you put some salt in there and you dump the big thing in there and it heats up and it starts spraying, not spraying, but emitting a lot of steam. And if you put too much salt, it starts spitting everywhere and you got water on your floor and you can't control the humidity and you don't worry about it because you're sick or coughing, or your kid's sick and coughing, but you look around and your windows are completely soaked and dripping and you know, your clothes are wet because it's just, you can't control the humidity. It's like literally almost 100% humidity in your room, raining. That's not good. If your humidity is above 60, you're getting dust mites. So you don't want dust mites. That's another problem. So I've got our boys' humidifiers in their bedrooms set at 55. So, and if it drops below 55, it emits a little bit of steam. And it's cool too, is because you can drop some essential oils in there for added benefit. I'm no essential oil guru, but you can look up what essential oils are useful for coughs. There's many. Now, to go back to the primary reason why people buy N-Acetyl Cysteine is because it's an inexpensive way to boost your glutathione levels. The problem is that N-Acetyl Cysteine is one compound out of many in order to produce your body's number one antioxidant called glutathione. So if you think that if you swallow a capsule of N-Acetyl Cysteine, that your glutathione levels are going to just go up, you can be grossly mistaken. In order to take N-Acetyl Cysteine and convert it into glutathione, you have to go through two specific genes, and those two specific genes require specific type of cofactors and an environment in which they can perform. And there are things which also slow those particular genes down. So we know that N-Acetyl Cysteine raises glutathione. So I ask, how? So I write cysteine down and I draw an arrow. Where does it go? Well, it goes to a gene called Gclc. And Gclc helps make another compound, which is still not glutathione. So I then draw another line, and that helps make gamma-glutamylcysteine. But not so fast. How does cysteine go through Gclc? Well, it needs ATP, which is your body's primary form of energy. It is, well, the form of energy. And you also need glutamate. Glutamate, you're not deficient in. In fact, if anything, you probably have too high levels of glutamate. Glutamate is very, very high in your body typically. It is very easily consumed in foods, but glutamate is an ingredient for glutathione. So you have cysteine binding to glutamate using energy to do so by using the gene Gclc. All right, that's fine. I go through this gene Gclc, no problem. Well, hold on. In the gene Gclc, if you have genetic variation in it, which is actually very common in the population, it can reduce your body's ability to make glutathione by upwards of 50%. So you could have a 50% reduction in your ability to produce glutathione. You could take all the N-Acetyl Cysteine you want. You can eat all the cruciferous veggies you want. You can eat all the meat you want. But if you have a slower, more sluggish Gclc gene, which some of us do, including me, then does that mean you need to take twice as much N-Acetyl Cysteine? I don't know. Possibly. Now, let's say you do not have that genetic variation. Let's say you have all the mitochondrial health and all the energy you want. You have all the cysteine you want because you're taking NAC, and you have all the glutamate you want. Well, you have to know what slows the particular gene down from functioning. There's two major things which prevent your body from making gamma-glutamylcysteine, which is the next step is to make glutathione. What do you think those two things are? When would you not want to have too much glutathione? During infections. What? Yes, during infections, your body does not want too much glutathione made, because if too much glutathione is available, then the infections will be able to get through your immune system because glutathione helps support a healthy immune response. Another major thing, especially here in our humid states, tropical states, wet states like Seattle, mold. Mold reduces your body's ability to make glutathione. We're talking only one gene so far. There's another one to jump through. The other gene is called GSS, that's glutathione synthase. And glutathione synthase needs energy. It needs ATP to work. And if we didn't have ATP, we'd be dead. So check, you've got some ATP. Glycine. Now, glycine is a very important, another amino acid, which is also pretty readily available, but I believe a lot of people are deficient in as well. So if you're just taking N-Acetyl Cysteine to boost your glutathione levels, and let's say you got through the Gclc gene, but your glycine levels are low, there you go. You're stopped. You're not making glutathione. Now let's say you got your glycine levels in order. Great. Okay. Magnesium. Everyone listening is most likely deficient in magnesium. Now, that doesn't mean that you are completely out of magnesium, but the fact of the matter is that you're most likely deficient in magnesium, which then ties down to, well, is my ability to synthesize, produce glutathione very good? It's not optimal, that's for sure. What else slows down GSS? Arsenic. Arsenic is pervasive in our environment. It's in drinking water, it's in our rice, it is in apples, it's in apple juice, so it's in applesauce. So moms, even if you're buying organic, this stuff is in the soil, it's in the water. So apples, apple juices, apple sauces, rice, brown rice especially. So if you're trying to be all healthy and you're eating brown rice versus white rice, you're getting even more arsenic. So, you know, there's all sorts of stuff that is reducing your body's ability to make glutathione from just supplementing with N-Acetyl Cysteine. So my point with this education is to really inform you that N-Acetyl Cysteine, yes, it can raise glutathione levels if everything else is working. But if it's not working, then all you're doing is increasing your cysteine levels, which can be helpful because cysteine goes on and does other things. But if the primary reason that you're using N-Acetyl Cysteine is to boost your glutathione levels, then you might not be very happy. So what do? Well, I would say you supplement directly with glutathione. So if you want to increase your glutathione levels, take your glutathione. But if you're saying it's way more expensive than N-Acetyl Cysteine, you're right. But it's way more effective than N-Acetyl Cysteine for increasing glutathione levels because you don't have to have, you know, a healthy level of magnesium, glycine, glutamate, magnesium, ATP. All these things don't have to be in huge, perfect amounts in your body. You can bypass all that stuff. If you have genetic variations in these particular genes, doesn't matter. You bypass them all. You supplement with the glutathione, either in capsule liposomal form, your glutathione levels start rising and you start doing things that you wanted to do back in the day when your glutathione levels were low. You're starting to think again. Your energy is back. Your moods are back. Your emotions are more stable. You're not as sensitive to smells anymore. So all these things can be attributed to glutathione. So I would be looking at glutathione supplementation. Now, glutathione in and of itself stinks. So it's very sulfury. So if you are wanting to bypass the taste and the smell of sulfur, I don't blame you. There's capsules of glutathione at Seeking Health called optimal glutathione. There's optimal glutathione, which is just glutathione by itself in a capsule because it's S-acetyl glutathione and the S-acetyl group protects it from your stomach acid. So the stomach acid will cleave the S-acetyl group off of the glutathione, which will deliver the glutathione to your gut, which then will allow your body to absorb it, which then can get into your cells and do its job. Optimal glutathione plus is glutathione along with additional cofactors. And cofactors are vitamins and minerals typically, which help your enzymes work. So in order to get glutathione in your cell, that's step one. But now you need to be able to use your glutathione. Selenium is needed to use glutathione for the gene glutathione peroxidase. If you do not have sufficient selenium, You can have all the glutathione in your body. You will still not support your glutathione peroxidase gene. Why? Because glutathione peroxidase requires selenium. You have to have selenium to use your glutathione if you want to help get rid of or neutralize hydrogen peroxide into water. Yes, your body makes hydrogen peroxide. Why? That's what your immune system uses to kill pathogens and signal your immune system to work harder and faster. But you have to have a nice balance of hydrogen peroxide. If you have too much, it's a problem. Too little, a problem. So glutathione is there to keep it in balance. So you use that glutathione to neutralize that hydrogen peroxide, and now what do you got? You have damaged glutathione. So once your glutathione goes to war for you to neutralize that hydrogen peroxide, you're left with hurt, damaged glutathione, which is called oxidized glutathione, or GSSG in research. But you can recycle that. You can recycle that damaged, worn out glutathione back into good, useful, go-to-war glutathione for you. But yes, there's an enzyme there. A gene makes an enzyme, and this gene is called glutathione reductase. It reduces your glutathione back. So it takes your oxidized glutathione, reduces it back into reduced glutathione. What does it need? It needs vitamin B2, riboflavin. If you do not have sufficient riboflavin, your damaged glutathione levels build up. If you have 15% or more of damaged glutathione inside your cell, it's going to die. It triggers cell death by design. Okay? So you've got to have sufficient riboflavin. So if you are one of these people, many, by the way, who do really well with N-Acetyl Cysteine, but do awfully with glutathione, you might be low in selenium, you might be low in riboflavin, and I'm not done yet. There's another compound called molybdenum, which we talked about earlier, and molybdenum is a mineral that is used to process sulfites. And so if you take cysteine as N-Acetyl Cysteine or glutathione, what you're also doing is that any extra sulfur in your body, so cysteine can go to make sulfite, literally sulfites. So in order to clear those sulfites from your body, it goes through this gene called sulfite oxidase, and it uses the mineral molybdenum to go to work for you. If you don't have sufficient molybdenum to go to bat for you, your sulfites increase. As your sulfites increase, you've got headaches, you've got irritability, you've got nosebleeds, all sorts of stuff, okay? Not good. Allergies. So by supporting your body with molybdenum, you're going to be getting healthier levels of sulfites back in check. If you are supplementing with N-Acetyl Cysteine and you start feeling these sulfite-related things, by supplementing with molybdenum, you could possibly neutralize that and get yourself in balance. So I knew a lot of people struggle with glutathione. I knew a lot of people also struggle with anything sulfur, anything. So if you're struggling with anything sulfur-related, whether it's any sulfur-related supplement or MSM, N-Acetyl Cysteine, cruciferous veggies, onions, garlic, cauliflower, artichoke, kale, what have you, then it could be sulfites. And molybdenum can really, really help you. Anywhere from 75 micrograms to 500 micrograms. And we have sulfite X at Seeking Health, which is a liquid molybdenum basically. And you take that and it can really help process the sulfites. But I also added molybdenum in Optimal Glutathione Plus for you. In Optimal Glutathione Plus, you have the glutathione, you have the selenium, you have the riboflavin, you have the molybdenum, and you also have PQQ, which helps keeps the glutathione levels not as damaged and also helps support oxidative stress in general, which reduces the burden on glutathione as well. So Optimal Glutathione Plus or Optimal Liposomal Glutathione Plus at Seeking Health are two very, very effective glutathione supplements. So if you are sad and going boo-hoo that N-Acetyl Cysteine might be gone from the shelves and you've been taking it for glutathione, I think you're going to be very, very pleased by using Optimal Glutathione Plus or the Optimal Liposomal Glutathione Plus. Now, which one would you take and why? I prefer the liposomal. What I do is I take literally a few drops of the Optimal Liposomal Glutathione or the Glutathione Plus, and I put it in my mouth and I hold it in my mouth and then I swallow it. Okay. Now, what should you notice? For me, I notice an improvement in vision. Why? The densest amount of mitochondria in your body are located in your eyeball. Mitochondria require a lot of energy. And so your eyes use a ton of energy to be able to constantly refocus. And so by doing that, they also use up a lot of glutathione. So by you supplementing with glutathione, you're going to be also supporting eye health. So that might be the first thing that you see. Now, the other thing is you will notice a clearing of your head. If you have a cloudy, foggy head, not always, but a cloudy, foggy head can be supported with glutathione as well, especially liposomal glutathione. Now, how do you know which one you need? If you are not taking a multivitamin, multimineral, so if you're not taking any of the multivitamins at Seeing Health, then I recommend the plus version. If you are already taking a multivitamin, multimineral, then I would just try the regular glutathione. They're basically around the same cost. The potency of the glutathione is a bit less in order to make up for the space of the other cofactors. So yes, N-Acetyl Cysteine is being evaluated by the FDA, maybe reclassified as a drug and pulled from the arsenals of various supplement companies or from your own kitchen or your first aid kit in your family. And if it is, I hope this podcast has really helped you understand the alternatives that we've laid out for you. So share this, like it, hit subscribe if you already haven't, leave a comment also on YouTube if you're on YouTube. And, I check out the comments and I can respond as well. And check out the transcripts. So we write everything out for you as well at our blog at seeinghealth.com. So if you go to seeinghealth.com, upper right corner, you click that, it will take you right to the transcript, which you can read the letter from the Council for Responsible Nutrition. You can pick up some glutathione as well. You can also get to N-Acetyl Cysteine when we're back in stock here shortly. But stuff is in the news all the time. There's a lot of negativity out there. And I hope this brings some positivity to light that Seeing Health will continue to offer N-Acetyl Cysteine. Many of your favorite supplement companies will be offering N-Acetyl Cysteine, and there's some fabulous alternatives for you. If in fact N-Acetyl Cysteine is pulled, it's not the end of the world. There's a lot of things that you can do to help as long as you understand the mechanisms of action and try to figure stuff out. So take care, click subscribe, and share. Thank you.